Well, we made it.
Oh, I'm so full of steak, I can barely wobble.
Me too.
I feel wonderful.
Has anyone ever told you have a very, very beautiful digestive tract?
Yes, but they don't usually say it like that. Normally they just go, boy, did you ever stuff yourself?
Would you like a drink or something?
No thanks, but you go ahead and have one, don't mind me.
Not me. I'm back on the wagon again.
Well, this was awfully nice of you. There was one thing that you had to carry that heavy plant all the way up the stairs. You didn't have to ask me out to dinner. I hope you didn't hurt yourself or strain something.
It wasn't that heavy. I was going to call the janitor to help me, but then I decided not to.
You're in pretty good shape.
For an old man?
You're not that old. You don't look a day over 28.
I know.
Well, anyway, it was very nice of you.
I just took the chance to call. I didn't really think you'd be home. I thought you'd be out or something.
I didn't go out very much.
Really? I still think you have a line of suitors half around the block, like Easter show at Radio City.
Last night, I went to the movies by myself.
Last night?
Well, after I left here.
All by yourself? You must have a boyfriend or something.
No, I don't go out with most people who ask me. I know it sounds silly, but people are always falling desperately in love with me. It just makes things so complicated. I mean, I'd rather just pay the 55 cents and go to the movies by myself.
Doesn't sound very exciting.
It is though. This is the first time I have my own apartment and everything.
Well, you went out with me when I asked you.
But that's different. It's alright to go out with you, because you're married.
I see, I think.
No, what I mean is, it's alright to have dinner with you, because you're not likely to fall desperately in love with me. You're more mature.
I don't feel so mature.
Well, you know what I mean.
You sure you wouldn't like a drink?
Absolutely.
I think maybe I'll have one. Just a little one.
This certainly is a beautiful apartment.
It's alright. It's a little ridiculous in some ways. The stairs, for instance.
I think they're beautiful. I like an apartment with stairs.
Yeah, but these don't go anyplace. They just go up the ceiling and stop. Either the joint a kind of Jean-Paul Sartre quality.
I see what you mean. No exit, a stairway to nowhere.
I tried to get the landlord to take them out. You see, this used to be the bottom half of a duplex. This place in the Coffins used to be one apartment. So when the landlord divided them up, he just bolted at the ceiling, or in your case, the floor.
Yes, I noticed. I lost a burn stick down the crack. But anyway, I think the apartment's charming.
Yeah, but we're moving to a larger place in September.
You certainly have a lot of books. The last book I read was The Catcher in the Rye.
The last book I read was The Scarlet Letter. Mr. Brady thinks we can sell it, if we can make it sound sexy enough.
Is it sexy? I don't seem to remember.
No, actually it's quite dull. In fact, people are going to want their quarters back, but Mr. Brady feels I can sell it if I can just figure out a way to tell people what the Scarlet Letter is.
What is it?
Well, the Scarlet Letter was a big red A for adultery. Anyone who was convicted of adultery had to wear it.
How awful!
The cover will be a picture of Hester Prynne with a cigarette hanging out of her mouth. She'll be in a real tight, low-cut dress. Our big problem is, though, is if the dress is cut low enough to sell any copies, there won't be any space on the front for the big red letter.
The publishing business sounds fascinating.
Oh, it is. It is.
It's getting late. I really ought to go.
We've got plenty of time.
I guess. That's a wonderful thing about having my own apartment. I mean, at the club, you had to be in at 1 o'clock or else they'd lock the doors.
Sounds barbaric.
Oh, it practically was. But it's very silly. You see, at the club, all the girls were actresses, so naturally they were asking each other what they called the big question.
The big question?
Yeah, they were always asking each other, would you sleep with the producer to get the part?
That is a big question.
Yeah, but I used to tell them the producers don't even go to bed before 1 o'clock. So the whole thing was academic. You wouldn't even know how much time they spent discussing it.
I can see where they might give the matter some thought.
Oh yeah, but they never discuss it in a practical way. When they asked me, I always used to say, well, is the producer handsome? And how big's the part? Just things like that, yeah. But I was at the club for 8 months, and as far as I know, none of the producers brought up the subject to any of the girls.
Must have been very disappointing for them.
It was.
But what if he was very handsome, and it was a very good part, and you didn't have to be in by 1 o'clock? What would you do?
Well, if he wasn't likely to fall desperately in love with me and ask me to marry him and everything.
What's so bad about that?
Oh, that would just spoil everything. Marrying him, I mean, then I'd have to start getting back in at 1 o'clock again. It's taken me 22 years to get my own apartment, and it'd be pretty silly if the first thing that I did was to get married. I mean, you can't imagine how exciting it is to have your own apartment after you've had somebody running your life for practically as long as you can remember. You just can't imagine.
Yes, as a matter of fact, I can. In fact, we have a great deal in common.
Daddy's going to work very hard, and he's going to stay on the wagon like Dr. Summers told him, and he's going to eat properly and not smoke like Dr. Murphy told him. And Mommy's going to call Daddy tonight just to make sure he's all right. Poor Daddy.
Poor Daddy?
The girl is absolutely right not want to get married. You don't. The minute you were old enough to have any fun, the only thing you could think to do was to get married.
I know. It was kind of nervousness. But I've made the best of it. And I've been a pretty good husband so far. And I think of the chances I've had.
We've been through all this before.
I know. Just thought I'd mention it.
Has it ever dawned on you that you're kidding yourself?
What do you mean by that?
All those dames you could have had if you weren't such a noble husband. The only reason you didn't do anything is because you didn't want to.
Why didn't I want to?
Laziness, pal. Laziness. It was too much trouble. You just didn't want to get involved. Elaine, for instance, it would have taken 6 months. All those phone calls and taxis and excuses.
Yeah. Why does it have to be so complicated?
If you could answer that one, pal, they'd make you the President of the United States.
So when you asked me out to dinner, it was alright, because naturally, you don't want to fall in love with anyone without you fall in love with me. Do you see what I mean?
Sure, it's too complicated.
Exactly.
We both happen to be in positions where we can't possibly let ourselves get involved in anything.
That's right.
All the damn phone calls and taxis and everything.
Exactly. I mean, I certainly wouldn't want to be sitting home alone at some man's apartment at 11:30 at night if he wasn't married.
Certainly not. When you said about the producer, it depends on if you were handsome or not. What is your idea of handsome? Just curious.
I don't really know. I mean, I suppose he should be tall and mature looking.
Like me?
You're not going to start falling desperately in love with me or anything, are you?
No, certainly not. I mean, you're very pretty and sweet, and I certainly enjoyed having dinner with you, but...
That's just the way I feel about you. I mean, you're very nice and charming, but you're someone that I can count on falling not desperately in love with me.
Well, I see what you mean. Well, I'm a lot mature than you are. And one thing I've learned is that it's not as simple as you think it's going to be. You can take the simplest damn thing, and before you know it, it's all loused up. I don't know how it happens or why it happens, but it always happens.
You're absolutely right.
Well, what do you think? What do you mean?
I don't know.
That's ridiculous. What is there not to know? He certainly is nice. He's mature without being, decrepit or anything.
Well, he certainly seems well preserved.
He's sweet and intelligent and married. What more do you want?
I don't know.
You're the one who wants to be a big deal woman of the world. It's all your idea. It's not as if you're some kind of virginal creature or something.
Oh, shut up! You make it sound so clinical, and you certainly can't count Jerry.
What do you mean we can't count Jerry?
Yeah, what I mean is, he got all hysterical and wanted to marry me.
It counts.
I mean, you can certainly understand a woman wanting to find out something about life and everything before she has to start getting back in at 1 o'clock again. I mean, what makes you think he's into me that way anyways? He must think I'm some kind of juvenile delinquent.
You're 22 years old. He's interested.
How can you tell?
I can tell.
How?
I can tell. What have you got to lose?
Well, nothing if you're gonna make Jerry count.
Counts.
Well then.
What I'm trying to say is that people who are really mature weigh things more carefully. They impose a discipline on themselves. I mean, they finally understand the cost. I mean, they finally understand that something that seems very wonderful and very worthwhile isn't really worth all the hysteria it's going to cause. Then, of course, you can overdo that line of thinking. I mean, a man, person, anyone doesn't want to feel like he's some kind of vegetable or something. See what I mean? What it amounts to is this. You've got to decide which is most painful. Doing something and regretting it, or not doing something and regretting it. You see what I mean?
I think so.
Look, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to start making a speech. You sure you don't want to drink?
No thanks.
Now, look, you don't have to go yet.
No, it's getting late. I really don't know.
Well, if you say so. Let me take you up to your door.
No thanks. It's just upstairs.
If you say so.
Well, thanks for dinner. It was lovely.
It was fun.
Well, good night.
Well, good night. Well, good night.